Good. So once your fretboard is in place, i.e. you have glued it down and it is there, you can then locate where your bridge is going to go. So let me show you how you do that, and then you need to mark it. Okay. Now, from your nut to your saddle, so where the saddle goes in the bridge, you're going to put your scale length plus about 2 millimeters. So you've got a straight edge, you've got a center line on your fretboard. On that center line, you need to make sure that you're going to the center of your bridge and that you are going your scale length plus approximately 2 millimeters. And so in my case, I am good here. I've already done this once, but it's always good to double check. And then I'm going to set it approximately where the first string should go. And I'm going to run it down the fretboard on that side and also on the bridge. I'm going to double check that at the first string I'm measuring my scale length plus 2 millimeters. And then again out on the bass side, make sure that that measures to where the bass string is going to go. Right on the right hole. Yep. Okay, let me double check my leaf over here. Okay, we should be good. Alright, so that does a couple of things. So the bridge has to be the correct distance, okay? But it also has to be centered with the fretboard. So we check to the center line to make sure that the distance is good. And then we make sure that it's not tilted one way or the other, checking both ends of it. We've also double checked by checking where the string is going to go from the nut to the bridge on each side, first string and sixth string, to make sure that they have the correct adjustment for your scale length, and are also, you're not going to have your first string be off the fretboard or too far in, or the same thing for your bass. They need to be aligned to each side of the fretboard to make sure that everything is lined up down the guitar. So once I've done that and that's in the correct place, we can add some tape so that we can mark. Just moved it. So let me double check it because I just moved it on accident here. So I'm going to move my bridge back into space. Okay. Now all of this tape is going to come back off, but I need it right now to mark where my bridge is going to go. Okay? Now, I've made a nice little right angle there. I'm going to use that because I want to mark with a pencil where that's going to be. Inside those corners, I'm putting a little corner mark. This tells me where the bridge is going to be. Okay. So I have a little mark on each corner here with pencil mark. That pencil mark will not be visible when I put the bridge down. Okay? But it allows me to set that bridge down exactly where it needs to be. And I can replace that every single time in the same spot. Now, while we have our bridge out and our bridge is ready to go, we're going to tape the bottom side of our bridge. Help if my tape stayed on there. And you may need to make this 2 or 3 thicknesses. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So I've got my bridge piece here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to give it a couple more. Just so that I have a good, solid piece. Okay, there we go. Now, I've got tape at the bottom of my bridge. I'm going to take a razor and I'm going to cut the edges off. Nice and straight. And very, very carefully. So I have my nice bridge here with my tape on it. Well, before I do that, I need one more prep step here. I've got some 320 grit paper. Old paper there. If you'll remember, I've got a spit coat of shellac on the top, and that is sitting on top of a really light egg wash. And so now I've got my sanding block, I've got my sandpaper. I'm going to take a real light and this is just to take any imperfection off of it. Okay. All right. I've got a paper towel. You can use a lint-free cloth if you like. Just removing all of that excess dust. If you're in the finishing stage, you don't want to leave any of that on there. Now, all I did was knock down any rough spots that would have been there from the egg wash or that first coat of shellac. And now that that's done, and I've got a clean surface again, I'm going to take my tape off of the bottom of the bridge, And using my marks, let's see, using my marks, I do believe that this is the right side. I'm going to very carefully place my tape and stick it down. Now, the top is ready for me to continue my my finishing, because I want to finish the top before I actually glue the bridge on. But my bridge location has been found, and I can double check to make sure, now that I've got the tape in place, that my bridge is on top of that. And I should end up with the same measurements that I had beforehand. Perfect bridge placement. Yep. Alright, and that's ready for me to begin the same process that I've been doing on the back and sides for finishing. I should be able to continue that on the top. So onward.